What's up, homies? Let's talk about picked out. This is a term that I don't believe in. I don't think it's really possible most of the time, but you hear it a lot, so let's go through it. I rather call it picked in than picked out. People have picked into different areas, and they've picked as much as they can out. I'm not saying there's less material in some areas. Sometimes you'll go to somewhere and you'll be like, there's some amazing rocks here. You'll come back and they'll all be gone, you know? You tried to leave them there and someone else took them. You know, that happens. I've had that kind of heartbreak before and everything, okay? But, but, it's just picked in. Doesn't mean it's picked out. You can't just look at things like they're done because some people found some of them. They never find all of them. And the same with gold and the same with music or anything. You can't do it all. There's always room in the market for you to find something new. Because it's not a market. You can't really sell stuff that you find anyways, unless you own the land and then you're mining it. We're not that far into this. We're just collectors, okay? So, you don't need to have a huge amount of whatever you find to be successful. Maybe if you just find one example from an area, you can move on and say, I have something from that area. I was talking to somebody yesterday. We were talking about some of the stuff that we found in Acton. And he found moss agate there. I found moss agate there. And we were able to have that connection that we've both collected that rock from there. It's not like I had to have a better one than he had, or I need to have a few more pounds of it. Not being greedy is the key to having a large collection. If you have a whole bunch of one type of rock, it could take up all your space, and then you don't have any space for other stuff. And they will stack up on you, those rocks. You can't collect them all, but you could try. What I want to say is that most people want an easy find, and it's not always there. It's hardly ever there. Even if you know a good spot, it'll dry up really quick, and then you'll have to find another spot. You may have to travel several miles. You may have to travel like 3 or 4 feet, but just change your tactics. A lot of times when I look for rocks, I want the easy finds too. Don't get me wrong. I'll go hiking for as many miles as I can just to look on the surface and not dig at all. But once you've done all that, you have to go down into the ground a little bit and start looking around and saying, okay, I've found some good stuff on the surface before. Where is my best probability of starting to dig into the ground? And that's where your surface picking will really help you out more than your digging, is you have a better chance of knowing what's around if you've picked all of the different surfaces. Then you could say, well, this spot's pretty hot. I found a lot of different stuff there right on the surface, so there should be some stuff right underneath the ground. Then you've raised your probability of not digging in a spot where there's nothing, you know? And can you tell if someone's dug there before? Oh, always. I mean, you could tell the dirt is just stuck together or it's loose. You could always tell if someone's dug there before. You could start digging in someone else's hole. Sometimes with gold, you have to go down like 3 or 4 feet before you ever see anything. Sometimes you want to be like 3 or 4 feet down before you ever start digging, but you still have to refill that guy's hole. And then you're like, well, once I'm inside of a 3 or 4 foot hole, now it's my 3 or 4 foot hole. You know what I mean?